Okay, so the next one is pretty simple. Let me create the folder for this one and call it isSet. We already know the method isSet, but let's create the index for demonstrating what it is for the first timers. Okay, if I say vardamp isSet and put some variable here, I obviously get into error, right? I mean, get into the false because the name property or the name variable is not set. But here, if I say Jesse, if I spell it right, and I get vardamp the isSet name, I get true. If I comment this out, I get true. Or for a last one, if I make this null, you may guess it, I get false, right? So the isSet functionality is pretty obvious and it doesn't need any further explanation. But let's say we have a class, as always, say random, and in the random class we have public function underscore isSet, and it returns false. So if I outside of the class new up the random class and vardamp the isSet class name, you may have guessed it, okay, so I forgot to put the name here. I get false. Why I get false? Because I simply put the false in here. But if I were to say here John, I get true. The name is true. Why the name is true? Because the name property is already there and it's set. So just a little reminder for the OOP side of the PHP. If I get this, I get false. If I make the name protected, I get false because it's being used outside the class. So this you may already know. So I guess this is pretty much it. So yeah, let me put another example that may sound a little bit cooler. Okay, so if I have some kind of this is a little bit more useful maybe. If I have some kind of user class and I have the protected collection of data, for instance, I have email sample@gmail.com, or I have website sample.com maybe, and etc. Okay, so if I new up a object for user, maybe vardamp isSet class email, although it doesn't actually exist as a property, but it is some kind of pseudo property in here. But you know that we get false. How can I make this true? This is where the isSet magic functionality comes handy. If I say isSet and I pass the key in here, what can I do with it? So this is going to be interesting. I can just return isSet and I say this data with key. No, not key like this. So I broke it. Key. Alright? So this functionality is pretty simple. It's going to return the isSet of this data, which is here, and get the key like this. I get true because I passed on the email. So if I want to maybe broke it, I get false because the name is not in the data. But if I add the name, say hi, although it's not a name, I get true, right? So if I were to check for any key in the data collection, the best way to do so is to put it under the functionality of isSet. So isSet can be useful in these kind of situations, although it may seem to be rare in the usage of this functionality, but it is simple, is useful in some cases like this.